I mean, it's like, what are you doing? Like in my mind, like I won't do that just because I'm nervous about food in other places. But here you're you're dealing with this disease, and you're on a plane to fucking Bhutan. I'm like, holy shit! I'm afraid to go to Arizona.
It's a little friendlier down in Arizona.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just life is better than the alternative, and so if I'm here, I'm going to enjoy it, and I want to, and I don't want to, but I don't want to brush over stuff, and I don't want to like not acknowledge stuff that's real. Like again, it's acceptance, and it's understanding what my situation is, and so I just like I look at it, and like that's the thing. I always, when I pile all that stuff up, it would never match how much I like life and how much I love the people in my life, and then it was that moment under the phone on the floor. I would say the phone was above me, and I was on the kitchen floor, and it kind of pulled my arm, and just feeling sorry for myself and pissing and moaning, and I thought at that point the pile was too big. I said, now the pile's too big. Now I don't like this. I don't want to accept this, and I don't want to take it, and I don't want to try to understand it, and I don't want to try to make it better. I don't want to put a shiny face on it. I just want to be out from under this phone, off this floor, and fucking better, and then just not have to deal with this shit anymore.
But you deserve that. I mean, you have the right to be fed up at some point. I mean, I don't.
But what was great about it was that again, it led me into this place where I really thought about it, and I thought about. I just like started to get it reorganized again and get it, but it came from different places. It came from different things. It didn't come from I want to feel better. I want to do better. I want to beat this. I want to like live with this. I want to make this, put a good face on this. So it became like if I listen to this message of gratitude that came from my father-in-law, who was a very influential man in my life, and I listen to, and I look at relationships, and I look at things like what if I get dementia? What if I lose my cognitive abilities?
Yeah.
That mean, and so I thought about that. So I thought, and I actually had this moment that I talk about in the book. It was a real wild moment. I was watching an ad for Duplazid, which is a Parkinson's drug for Parkinson's dementia.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a drug we were involved early on in the development of it. But this guy is he's in this pastoral kind of yard of this beautiful home, and he's looking at his dog, and then he's got two dogs.
Yeah.
And his wife is coming. Now his wife's with some man he doesn't understand, doesn't know, and he gets all anxious. And it's about those kind of delusions. And the first time I saw the commercial, I'm standing in my office and I'm watching it. And then I turned to my left and I said to the man who wasn't there, "What did you think of that?"
Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually did that. What do you think?
But like you talked a lot about some of the hallucinations you had in the hospital, after the back surgery. But you don't deal with that. You don't deal with that stuff on a regular basis, do you?
No. Yeah. What I get is I get things that are easily explainable, which is like peripheral stuff. Like if I have my glasses on, the frame of my glasses, I'll see it, and so someone's moving it, but then I know it's the frame of my glasses.
Right. I also think like another thing that you seem to do, which is beautiful, is that from all your life experiences, you kind of build these metaphors that function for you. Like, with golf, with leopards, with I don't know how, I never understood golf, but it seems like you have a passion for it. But you drew some analogy, between, golf and brain surgery. Like you take lessons from it.
Yeah, I really like in my writing, because I'm not a writer, but I love metaphors and I love cliches, and I love to just bust up cliches and bust up metaphors and just make them all crazy, because it's interesting to me, and I always find I think in metaphors, and I think if things apply to things you wouldn't think they apply to, like. I don't know how to explain this, but like trying to learn to walk again. So I had all these things. Right. Put the heel, strike with the heel, and bring the thing, transfer the weight from the thing, get the hips out front, and all this. There's this list of things.
Right.
And I have to think about it every time I go to the fridge.
Yeah.
And then I get to the fridge, I have to figure out how I'm going to manipulate the stuff, and I'm going to pivot to put it on the counter to go back and get the other thing. And then my daughter, my 18-year-old daughter, breezes through, grabs a coconut water, closes the door with her hip, and bounces out the door.
Yeah.
And so I think, so then I think about golf. In golf, I have to do the same thing. I have to get my feet set, get my look down at the ball, get all that list of things.
Yeah.
And it's about golf.
Right.
So what's more annoying, like doing that with golf, or if I have to do it for walking, I'll do it for golf.
Yeah. Right. And the leopard thing was pretty scary. I could, to be stuck in a watering hole in Africa and then realize the connection of the leopard in the tree, and then realize like I could be food.
Yeah, I'm just, and like my only hope is that I'm not that delicious.
Yeah, because you're not going to be able to get away necessarily.
No, they leopards get you. They get you by the back of the neck, and you're up hanging from a tree in a second, and they're licking your hair off.
That's right. Yeah. But the analogy you drew in terms of your life was that there's the leopard that you see, and then there's the one that you can't see, and then there's the one that prowls around in your dark place.
Yeah. The one that you can't see that probably isn't there, but it really scares the shit out of you. And then, then I talk about like I'd be on the safari, and I'm seeing all these animals and all this stuff. And we had this thing where we broke down at the watering hole, and I was saying, take my family back, and I'll wait here for the truck to come. And I'm thinking I'm going to die.
Yeah,
I'm going to get eaten by a leopard who's up in that tree who I can't see now, and he's just waiting for, because I'm the slow old one. Can't move that well, and I'll be easy to take down. So wait for those young ones to leave and then get me.
Yeah.
So but then the truck came and we were rescued. But when we got back to the camp, we're in these tents, these kind of glamping things. Yeah. Where we have a four-poster bed and desk and most African alien horns and antlers and skulls and I have to make, and it's in a tent, and in the middle of the night I gotta go pee, and I gotta go to this thing at the end of the tent, which is this kind of latrine thing. Yeah. Bathroom is not really worth for it. And I have to surf through like the dark. I have these reading lights on that have a light on the other side of my head, so I look like one of those fish in the Mariana Trench.
The angler fish?
The angler fish.
Yeah.
I'm feeling my way through this antique store. And then I realized I can't lean on anything. I can't lean on the wall. If I lean on the tent, the whole tent comes down. It comes down to my wife, and then it comes down on me. And the nearest hospital is like in Kenya or something. Yeah. And that's the scariest part. Yeah. That's the most potentially lethal thing I do in that whole trip.
Is go to the bathroom.
Is go to the bathroom at night. Yeah. And so I put that in perspective. I said, there's the leopard you see. There's the shit that you're really afraid of it, and you can see him, and he's scary. But you feel okay because you're in these big vehicles, and they don't see individuals in a vehicle. They see the vehicle, which is a big monolithic monster that they don't want to mess with. Right. Unless you get out of the vehicle, then you've exposed the fraud. You become lunch. Yeah. So and then when I was stuck at the watering hole, I was precisely that position because I was out of the Jeep because the Jeep was sinking in the mud. And but the serious thing was being in the tent at home and having to pee. Yeah. That was shit.
Just the practical thing. So when you what do you kind of see as the thoughts that really got you out this last time?
Well, I had a few things. I had the golf thing was cool. Like these little side trips I took in the book, like golf with my buddies and people that I like. And I talk about George Stephanopoulos and Harmon Coben, the mystery writer. Yeah, I did this strange little trio of guys that golf. And pull this out. This was gonna happen. Headphones and Parkinson's don't go.
Headphones and Parkinson's don't go?
No, because my hand is flying around all the time. Yeah. I had this thing with the mask. I finally said, can I put the mask on a chain like a librarian thing, like a librarian's glasses? Right. And just have it hanging down. When I pop it on. But I would break the chain all the time. Yeah.
We might be able to finish it up without the headphones if they keep.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, so you had good friends, and
and so that was a big thing, and that was important. And then these moments with my family that were just little moments. It's just like I didn't write about spectacular. Well, my daughter was the one thing. She was there the night before I had my accident. And she begged me to let her stay and get me off in the morning. And I said, "No, don't be silly. Go home."
Yeah.
And the next one I did this, she still isn't over it. We still talk about it all the time.
Right.
And with Tracy and then it was a big thing with my father-in-law. He was always saying it gets better, and he was always talking about gratitude
and he was battling cancer, right?
Battling cancer, and we had this moment that I talk about in the book where I go over and visit him, and we'd have lunch, and I bring him eclairs and a mystery novel.
Yeah.
And we just hang out, and he had a cat that would walk down his arm, a little miniature cat that would drink out of his water glass, walk back up his arm. And we went into the room, the TV room, watching CNN, and we were talking about Trump.
Yeah.
And then the doorbell rang at the back, the service entrance, and I went back, and it was the guy from the hospice. And he had all the hospice equipment. And I brought him in, and it was kind of awkward because Steve, I didn't know how I feel about this. And so I gave the guy a tip, and he gave us directions. And he said, "Which one of you two is a patient?" And so last time I ever heard Steve really laugh.
Yeah. I think the point you make towards the end of the book about what Steve said to you about, gratitude being the foundation of optimism. What exactly was that he said? Well,
he just talked around that. I mean, I put it in I expressed it as saying, with gratitude, optimism is sustainable. But he would say that he would talk around that if you can't, unless you have gratitude, unless you're grateful for being there and you're grateful for what you're taking in, and you don't have to automatically be grateful. You find a way to be grateful.
Right. Well, you have to, especially when you're an alcoholic. That gratitude. I have to force myself to do it because I'd rather be sort of miserable. Yeah. So I mean, you have to make a choice to be grateful and make the list and all that shit. And then
it's worth it. But it's much easier to just go,
fuck it.
Fuck it. What's on TV? Let me watch a show where those people sit in a tent for 10 months and rot.
Well, I thought that was interesting that, because I found a little of that during the pandemic, like that when you were in your most depressed this last time, that you just fell into the rabbit hole of never-ending television, and you found some comfort in that, and you're sort of tripping out on all the different decades available and all the weirdness available. But there's that moment where you talk about, realizing that you're part of this rerun world.
I'm going to be survived by rerun. Yeah. Yeah, well, and I was into this thing too. I was watching these game shows, these old game shows, which are horrendously racist and misogynist, and just like Native American will come on and the chief big wampum where you're just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, are you kidding me?
And the lady will come on and it'll be wolf whistle and say, is it Miss or Mrs.? It's Mrs. Oh.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And the thing I also noticed was everyone is dead.
Yes. Everyone is dead.
Everyone is dead. Every talk show host, every game show host was dead.
Yeah.
Ironically, I still stand the best talk show host, game show host of all time, he just passed away.
Yeah.
So a Canadian and a great guy.
Yeah, Alex, yeah.
Alex. Go Canada.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but so that it's sort of interesting that kind of brought you up against your mortality, because I would think that, one thing I don't really hear or see from you or in the book is that this sort of impending sort of doom and gloom that there's no real language around this is going to kill me or, I'm afraid of death or any of that.
30 years from now, dead. 30 years from now, dead.
30.
At least I give it 30, but if it happens before then, like I say in the book, the last thing you run out of is the future.
Right.
It's the last thing. It's the last thing you have is the future, and then you don't have it.
Right.
And you don't notice.
Right.
So I'm not too worried about that. That doesn't freak me out. Except to the extent that I have, that my relationships are solid in my life, and that I haven't left anybody any messes to clean up or any holes to fall into. And